Hey everyone, welcome back to Installation 00. Today we discuss UNSC Robots and what autonomous robotic platforms the UNSC has available to them and why we don't really see any in-game, extended lore or practically anywhere else. Why? Robotics technology is evidently going to be quite advanced. The very fact that Mjolnir exists in the Halo universe demonstrates that the technology to be able to build walking bipedal robots or drones that coexist in human society in a similar fashion to the way you see in iRobot and various other franchises should be commonplace in Halo, right? Well, there may actually be a very good and very obvious reason why robots aren't really a thing in Halo, but first, let's look at the known examples of autonomous drones that do exist within the UNSC. The robotic rover is a UNSC self-propelled multifunctional automaton. It has a rudimentary artificial intelligence and responds to basic verbal commands such as stop, left, right, etc., but otherwise doesn't really interact. The first mention of this was in the book Halo: The Fall of Reach. Service drones are slightly more sophisticated versions of this. They are autonomous machines with limited artificial intelligence programming and more advanced than the robotic rovers used aboard the UNSC ships to perform repair and maintenance in support of the ship's human technical crew, and in places where humans can't reach or have difficulty doing so. They do not require verbal controls and can be activated and operated remotely via the ship's main computer. UNSC frigates such as the UNSC Gettysburg tend to carry several of these drones. The MQ-96 support drone is used by the crew of the Spirit of Fire. Equipped with light defensive measures and designed with compatibilities with a plethora of secondary and tertiary systems, the drone is particularly ideal for providing both cover and reconnaissance. Michelle is the name given to a modified MQ-96 drone owned and operated by Nico, the technology expert serving aboard the Mariner-class transport ship, the Ace of Spades. Michelle is capable of flight in vacuum and space and is equipped with a camera and a sensor suite. The suppressive fire drone is a UCAV used by the United Nations Space Command in the post-Human Covenant war years. One such drone was used by Commander Sarah Palmer to assist Fireteam Crimson in their pursuit of Julim Dama. Argus drones are small, disc-shaped, 1 meter wide unmanned aerial vehicles equipped with Argus detection systems, which stay aloft by a single shrouded rotor. They are also equipped with targeting computers and one or more Lancet micro-missiles. Their function was to detect and, if possible, destroy explosives on motorways and in buildings. Argos drones are not infallible despite their widespread use, having wrongly identified explosives on an innocent civilian on at least one occasion. A camera drone is a type of sound and video recording device used by humans, likely operated by news agencies for recording current events. They hover on several air propellers, and several camera drones were present at the award ceremony on Cairo Station just before the Battle of Earth, recording the arrival of MCPO John 117 and Sergeant Major Avery J. Johnson. The OQ-45 Honeybee is a state-of-the-art surveillance drone utilised by the United Nations Space Command. At some point following the launch of Outpost Discovery on Earth in late 2553, Honeybees was used to allow civilians in attendance to remotely experience the exploration of a Halo ring in a remote reconnaissance display capsule. The F-99 Wombat is an autonomous fighter drone used by the UNSC. During the Battle of Mombasa in October 2552, numerous F-99 UCAVs were deployed in reconnaissance elements numbering 2 to 3 aircraft to the city of New Mombasa, presumably from aircraft carriers a few kilometres off the coast. They provided air support for embattled Marines across the city, particularly the Uplift Nature Reserve. The collective optical feeds provided by the drones could also be accessed by ground forces through the UNSC battle network. These are the majority of the known drone-type platforms used by the UNSC, but again, these aren't bipedal robots that live amongst the human population or perform the more menial tasks of day-to-day life or act as home assistants or the like. Why are there no bipedal robots? The answer isn't directly given anywhere. In fact, there is a distinct lack of information, but I would assume that given the advent of AI technology, having autonomous robotic platforms widely used was probably something humanity made a choice to avoid. It goes back to that old debate of if we create an AI, we need to ensure it doesn't come to hate us in any way. It doesn't have to be outwardly evil, but simply to have priorities and objectives that differ from our own. An AI's thinking capability allows it to perform the tasks of a team of researchers approximately 1 million times faster. Technology we have today would be nearly alien to people who existed 100 years ago. If an AI thinks that much faster and innovates that much quicker and builds understanding and discoveries of the universe that much faster than we can, it would only take a few hours for it to be the equivalent of centuries or more ahead of our most cutting-edge science. If it's that far in advance, how could we possibly understand its motives, its ideas, what it's trying to accomplish? Even if it is acting in our best interests, it might not look that way to us. The difference in intellect would be something akin to the difference between us and ants. We don't really have a problem with ants, in fact some of us go out of our way to avoid disturbing them. However, if there's a colossal ant's nest in your garden and the ants are all over your lunch, what do most of us tend to do? Kill them and the entire nest without a second thought. If there were robots marching about everywhere as potential vectors for an AI, every robot would present a potential risk to the human population. So before the first AI was active, humanity, if we did have robots, likely got rid of them all and opted for AI as we used them in the Halo universe. If nothing else, just as a precaution. Imagine how the situation would have played out when Cortana seized control of the created. If there were millions of robots living amongst the human population, that would have been case closed on humanity before we even had a glimmer of a plan to fight back. Thanks for watching. Stick your comments down below. I look forward to what you have to say. I want to give a quick shout out to my patrons: Neek the Silent Cartographer, Brian, Sebastian, Red Sea, Darian, Stalker of the Realms, Falcon X003 and Mr. Fell, the Holders of the Mantle, Black Biscuit, J Rabbit, Austin, Kaiser, Silux, Reclaimer 216, The Revanche, Wolf Slim, Andre, Samantha and Jake my Reclaimers, Zach, Deep Cover, Verbal Statue, Spesigo, Spartan A498, Guppy, Josh, Bastian, Molshar, Nightrise, Sierra G059, Kenneth, Dylan and Daniel, my Metarchs, and all the other patrons that have done to support the channel. You guys are awesome and all of this wouldn't be possible without you. If you like Halo lore discussed to insane levels of detail, hit that subscribe button and the little bell icon so you're told the second a new video hits the shelves. Be sure to support us on all major social media channels including Discord, and if you really love the channel, consider heading over to Patreon and supporting the channel over there. It would mean the world to me and would free up more of my time for me to put into this content and other Halo related goodness. Take it easy everyone, and find peace in the domain.